I washed up on a desolate island with no knowledge how I got there, but I'm now all but certain it wasn't an accident.
I started receiving weird VHS tapes in the mail. I never asked for them, but they keep arriving day after day. In every package is a note telling me the exact time to share it with the world, to get it seen by as many people as possible. If I don't, they said, bad things will happen. The following presentation is the contents of one of those tapes. Please help me and watch until the end.
You're new here, aren't you? I could barely hear her voice over the sound of the crashing waves. It was chirpy though, like a soft tune weaving its way into my ears. Do tunes do that? Weave? I'm not very good with similes. More of a metaphor man myself. You should simile more, my mother would say. She didn't really. That's a joke. I do those too. Don't answer that. I know you're new. My memory was a barren wasteland. That's a metaphor right there. Means I couldn't remember much. Couldn't feel much either, truth be told. Had a hard time opening my eyes too. Just hang tight. I'll get you sorted in a jiffy. I could sort of feel her touch on my skin, but it was like a thin layer of even more skin was between her and the real me. Was I naked? How awkward. I kept thinking, I have this birthmark, you see, that, if you look at it from just the right angle, kind of resembles a Jesus toast. There we are. Geez, you're a heavy one. It's a bit cramped, but it's a short journey, promise. Gotta watch out for those holes though. Old man Paulson has been meaning to fix them for years, but you know how it is. Never enough time. We are moving now, my limp and unresponsive body tossing and turning every which way. I'm secured to a rough surface. Metal? Wheelbarrow? But I can feel something else. Someone else. Hello there, Sonia. Found another one? Hiya, Gunnar. Two in fact. Is that Leif? Sure is. Oh well, you'll sort it out. I'm sure of it. Have a fine morning, Sonia. You too, Gunnar. Who was that? I kept thinking. His voice was interesting, terrifying. A low feral growl seemingly coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. Carried somehow by the wind maybe, like a seagull sailing gently from one spot to the next. There I go with the similes again. Really not my strong suit. Oh, that's Gunnar. You'll always find him wandering this road. On some days, you'll meet him twice within minutes. He'll never remember the first time though. Poor Gunnar. I guess some just can't handle it, you know? It's like they split into two. And not just their personality either. More like the idea of them. That's strange. I'm fairly sure I didn't actually vocalize my thoughts. Don't see how I could have. My mouth, tongue, vocal cords too I suppose. Unmoving and unmovable. Who is this Leif, though? Why is there a Leif now? Leif. He's a regular you could say. Washes up on our shore every other day. It happens from time to time, especially with the new ones. They just forget what they are is all. They'll snap out of it eventually though. We always circle back. Just like the Vorknut, we cannot escape ourselves. Her words make little to no sense to me, but I'm starting to get a very bad feeling about this place. My mother always told me I was a bit slow, but sheesh mom, you could have prepared me for just how slow I was. I'm sorry, I think. Is this Leif the someone I felt briefly beside me a little while ago? Yeah, he's sitting right next to you. Enjoying the ride, old Leif is. I'll take him to the caves too, but what he really needs is a good night's sleep. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time keeping up with you there, Sonia, on account of being totally limp, fearing for my very existence, and more than likely seriously injured. Where are you taking me? The caves? They run like looping veins under our island. It is said there once was a great civilization down there, a magnificent underground empire that never once saw the sun. Some claim that's where the boy came from, that he's the last remnant of an ancient species, far removed from us. Gods, maybe? I'm no theologian. I just like the stories. I'm trying my best to piece together what appears to be an impossible jigsaw puzzle, but I'm too wrapped up in my own fear to think straight. Gods? What gods? Boy? What boy? He doesn't really have a name. He's Vorknet. Perpetual. You'll meet him soon enough. It's a part of the ritual. I can feel my adrenaline levels rising, although I can't really be sure, since I can't actually trust what I'm feeling. But I do trust the fear, the all-consuming dread. Hard to miss that, because you're kinda hardwired to let it take total control. you're about to sacrifice me, aren't you? Some kind of heathen ritual, like a blood eagle or something? No, nothing like that. In fact, look, we're here now. Down there. See? You can't see yet, of course, so you'll just have to take my word for it. It's a bumpy ride, so hang tight. Hang tight? What is that? A joke? Are you making light of the insufferable plight of my situation? I know. You can't move a muscle. Just a figure of speech. Jeez. She didn't lie. For every minute we've been moving, I've felt a numbness return to my extremities. And now that we're being thrown sideways, I can feel every muscle aching, like being prodded continuously with sharpened, somehow solid, leeches. We sorta lost Leif back there, but don't you worry, he'll make it back okay. I'm gonna try to lay you down next to the stone now, so you'll feel some manner of discomfort. The stone? I think. What the hell is the stone? It's where he prefers to feed the boy. We don't really know why. No one does. One of the many things lost in time. That's why we're here, Eric. We can't lose more time. She wasn't kidding. I feel a sudden rush of extreme discomfort, bordering on pinned directly in nerves amounts of pain. My system is rebooting. I figure, muscles and cells interacting again, only to be slapped back into oblivion by the intolerable unjustness of our situation. But that's not all. There's something else. This will hurt like nothing you've ever experienced, but it can't be helped. I'm cutting you open now, from throat to groin, as is our way. Lift out the organs, one by one, slowly, carefully. Place them upon the stone. If I wasn't already blind, I'd describe it as blinding pain. Have you ever been cut open, throat to groin? Figured not. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a strange sensation, feeling your own organs removed from your still inexplicably living being. It's ungodly, blasphemous, the total and complete disrespect for the sanctity of life. I still have dreams about it, nightmares, endless waves of unimaginable torment, and the vivid, violent image of the boy. Here he comes. Isn't he beautiful? He can't move past this point, you see. His heart is stuck down there in the caves. It grew too big and too black. He drags it with him wherever he goes. And sometimes at night, if you listen real closely, and if you're very lucky, you can hear it beating underneath. It's a sign of good luck, Eric. Pray that you'll hear it one day. I couldn't see him, but I could hear him. You know the sound of a wet mop on a cold floor, all slushy and moist, like that, only from something living. He crawled, I suppose, although I can never be sure. Not yet, anyway. Hoarse, gargled breath, and a high-pitched croak. Thus we help him feed. That's where you come in. But worry you not, dead one. You will be rewarded for your sacrifice. Tomorrow, or the day after, you will wash up on the shore again. I know it is impossible. I know it couldn't have happened, but it did. Every nanosecond was like an eternity. Every bite that being took from my now removed organs, I could feel like they were still attached to me, like that thing was inside me, nibbling on flesh, drooling on tissue, and just like Leif up there, you will forget what you are. Hollow, empty, a soulless husk, but alive nevertheless. I'll be there to guide you. This is my promise. This is my duty. So until then, remember, we are as we are. Cyclical, never ending. Just like the Vorknet. And when the boy had finished his meal, when every last flesh crumb of me was consumed, I felt my mind detach, spiraling then like a drunken tornado. I'm not very good with similes, but there's no metaphor for this. There's no way to explain any of it. My mind went blank, and I fell into a deep nightmare, the only comfort being the promise of my own imminent demise. And then I was on the beach again, wet, naked, battered, and bruised, hollow. So unimaginably hollow, but I could move, and I could see. Ah, there you are, Eric, Sonia said. So good to see you again. Who are you, I asked.